Watch here as the Privateers are ready to take on Mcnees in the second meeting between these two sides. Starting lineups we'll bring to you here, and for Mcnees, Megan Gross, Mackenzie Moore will start along with Lacey Schooley, Kendall Osgood, Kamaya Webb, Natera Moore, and the libero is Bailey Tillman. Privateers, meanwhile, will go with Chelsea Daffin and Ryan Williams, along with the setter, Defne Eciroglu, Divine Moe. The two middles, Alani Rechkovska and Courtney Roundtree. And the libero tonight is Lainey Alamo. We take a look at our keys to the game, and first of all for Mcnees and for Coach Karloff, he said it really just starts with the first touch and also set the tone from the service line. And that's something they did very well against the Privateers last week. And overall, just carry the momentum. She said there was just really a lot of high energy going into that first match in Lake Charles last Saturday. And really, she's talking about just keeping the momentum and keeping the energy at a peak level going forward here for her squad. Meanwhile, from the Privateers' perspective, talked to Coach Preston as well, get back to basics. And she pointed out specifically that they had 98 attempts against Southeastern, but really did not score consistently. They only got 16 kills. Also, she talked about being able to score and hit high at a system and to keep the ball away from Bailey. Bailey Tillman, of course, the Mcnees libero, who Coach Preston holds in very high regard. And, of course, rightfully so, is one of the best liberos in the league, if not the best libero in the league, certainly. Bailey Tillman only had 9 digs in the match against New Orleans last week. So those are the keys to tonight's match as the starting lineups are being introduced. Also, it's Academic Honors Night, so the volleyball student-athletes were honored before the match. Rest of the student-athletes will be honored between sets 2 and 3 tonight. A little bit more about this matchup, of course, and the Privateers and Mcnees coming in. New Orleans trying to gain their footing. And we talked about the fact that they tried to get off the ground early last year because they had gotten off to an 0-4 start before winning their first conference match. But time is more of the essence now because of the more teams that are involved in the Southland Conference. And, of course, it's 8 out of 12 teams that are going to be in the Southland Conference tournament going forward. Once that happens in mid-November in Hammond. Privateer starting lineup is being introduced. Mcnees is going to be wearing their black uniforms here this evening with white numbering. The yellow lettering with Mcnees across the front. Meanwhile, the Privateers in their royal blues with white numbering and lettering. Coach Preston also talking about this match tonight, that she told her outside specifically about how Karen Cordero Barr last year, and she gave a big shout out to Karen, who was an All-Louisiana outside hitter last year, second team All-Louisiana, how she had 329 kills last season. And speaking to Coach Preston, who said that she was basically our muse for our outside hitters and for our right sides for this match. She talked about Karen and the fact that she got 329 kills. She didn't have perfect sets all the time, but she was able to keep her arm high and hit high off of the block. So she told her front line players to really take a look at what Karen was able to do last year and what made her so successful and carry that forward here into tonight. The Privateers and Mcnees getting set to do battle for the 56th time ever. Of course, we're going to take a look at the season series, or the all-time series, rather, as we are in the match. This is the 56th time these two teams will do battle. 21st time since they've been in the Southland Conference. Of course, 2 of those were meetings in the Southland Conference tournament, including one last year where Mcnees ended the season of the Privateers. That's head coach Ashley Preston in her 4th season on the lakefront. And Mcnees, coached by Sasha Karlov, who is in her 3rd season at the helm. And there you see the record, 40-43 for Coach Karlov. A Mcnees team that got to the semifinals of the Southland Conference tournament before being eliminated last year. And we are set for Thursday night volleyball here on the lakefront. And we are so glad you joined us, wherever you may be joining us from here on this Thursday evening. And, of course, before we get started here, we are certainly thinking about the folks who are been impacted by, of course, Hurricane Helene and now, of course, Hurricane Milton as well that made landfall late last night in Central Florida. And we're thinking about all the folks who were in the path of Hurricane Milton as well. And, of course, we're just keeping a good thought for everybody who has been impacted this hurricane season in total. Privateers will be going from left to right. For those of you watching at home, officials doing their final checks of the lineups here before we can get going. Mcnees had lost their first two conference matches before that win against New Orleans, and then they were able to parlay that forward and pick up a win last weekend against Nichols as well to get themselves back on even terms, as the race for positioning is on right now. Of course, not only at the top, but those teams that are fighting to get some early ground to try to secure their spots as early as possible for the conference tournament. Defne Eciroglu to serve, and we are underway now. High, short serve. Mcnees just gets to it. Here's an early swing deep from the outside that goes long from Moore, but there was a touch. There was a touch, and it is a point, and I don't think the Privateers know it. Eciroglu just got a ball from one of the ball shaggers. They did not see that there was a touch called, and it is a point for Mcnees. 1-0. Tillman to serve. She sends it over to Williams, and now Eciroglu's going to set this one up. Ryan outside the pin. Strong dig attempt, and that one kept alive by running Tillman after Osgood kept that going. Free ball. Alamo passes. Eciroglu sets Roundtree. Block touch. There's Tillman on the dig. Here's a swing on the outside. That's blocked. Roundtree and Divine Moe set up perfectly on the outside for the block, and the point for the Privateers. And now we're split. It's 1-1. Well, now, actually, I'm not sure what the call was. Maybe there was a net violation because Mcnees has the point, actually. It's 2-0. Here's a set from Moe. That one goes deep, and that's long. We'll see if we get a moment and if anybody had contacted the net and was in the net on the block attempt. But Tillman going to send this one to Alamon now. 3-0 Mcnees. Here's a swing for Moe, and that's a kill for Divine. No question about that one. That's a point for the Privateers. Didn't see anything on the block touch itself, but again, not sure if there was a net violation on the way down on that block. Here's Williams' serve. That goes long, and a point for Mcnees, 4-1. Serve sent over. That's Williams on the reception. Eciroglu sets middle. Moe pushes it deep and wide. That goes out. Wide left that time from Moe, and a point for Mcnees, and it's 5-1. It's Megan Gross to serve. Gross sends it over. That's Williams. Now set up, tight set. That's going to be a point, as they're going to call Moore for reaching over the net. Mackenzie Moore reaching over the net there, while Eciroglu tried to set that one. A violation on Moore, and a point for the Privateers, and now Roundtree on the service line. Courtney sends this one on a line over. That's Tillman. Now going to be set up here. Tapped over by Moore. And Mackenzie Moore showing a little change of pace. Coach Karlov has talked about her versatility. Not only the fact that she could play 6 rotations as an outside, but how she could change speeds on their shots like we saw there. Leilani Goggin is in now on rotation. That's for Osgood. On the line there, Daffin receives a serve. Now Moe a swing off the block touch. One-arm punch keeps it alive by Tillman. Now a standing hit over. That one goes long, and a point for the Privateers, as that one could not fall into the court of play for Goggin. Now a point for New Orleans, and back to a 6-2.